Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. This is your United show. This is Devil's Advocate, and it's our final edition of Devil's Advocate live here in the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. As you've all would have seen on Twitter today, we are moving over to All for United. So this is our last edition of the weekly Armchair Sports Talk of Devil's Advocate. So joined here today by Mr. Rhys Russell, my co-host as always. We'll also be joined by Jamie. Just run a slight bit late here today. But first of all, Rhys, how's it going? How's the form?
Form's good. Smiles back. Totally done a Shawn Michaels. I'm good.
That's good.
Hope you're good over there as well, considering the weather.
Considering the weather, I suppose over here in Ireland we're getting battered by storms at the moment. So
yeah,
it's kind of one of these things where we're getting what the UK got last week. So hopefully, touch wood, my electricity doesn't go during this stream, because I think that would be an absolute nightmare if that did happen.
Luckily, I've got control of the channel if necessary, in case it happens. I still have control.
Absolutely. Rhys is the secondary head of the table, as you would say. But look, we're here to talk all things Manchester United, all the latest news. Also going to talk about obviously young boys game coming up tomorrow. Obviously, we could be expecting wholesale changes, a lot of chances for maybe some fringe players who would have been fringe players under Solskjaer to prove themselves to Ralph Rangnick tomorrow in tomorrow's fixture at Old Trafford. Rhys, first of all, before we get to tomorrow's game, obviously Rangnick had his first game in charge on Sunday against Crystal Palace. 1-0 win by all accounts in my book. Very good performance, very organised, very compact, but also on the attack, we sustained attacks, and in my opinion, we pressed really well. For you, as someone who was a massive kind of fan of Ralph Rangnick's style of play before he even came to Manchester United, and you've kind of studied his work at Leipzig, what was your initial thoughts? And you've seen kind of that first 30-minute spell for Manchester United in terms of our pressing, our counter-pressing, winning the ball back and kind of really putting Crystal Palace under pressure, but also kind of avoiding being caught in the counter. What was your overall thoughts about that?
I thought it was great to see a reaction, especially change of style. Obviously, it's only one training session. I didn't expect us to be quote-unquote pressing machines like straight away, but even Ralph was surprised as well by the energy levels, the commitment, the work ethic of the team. And it was great to see that they were pegging Crystal Palace back, suffocating them in their own half. It's not something that generally happened under Ole. I mean, Ole had some good performances as a manager. I won't deny that. Carrick as well, like controlling it in his 3-game spell, but we didn't really control a game properly. And I think the way we played against Palace at the weekend, we completely controlled them. Yeah, they had a couple of moments where they should have scored, but other than that, it wasn't really reflective, even in victorious, it wasn't really reflective of being vulnerable. They only had like one proper chance that they should have taken, Ayew across the box that he absolutely wasted, which is fantastic. It's just the sheer difference in performance and energy levels of the team. Like for once, like working as a team, they were actually organised, disciplined, and it wasn't individuals saving the team for a change. Like, yeah, there was a moment of brilliance by Fred, but it wasn't individual brilliance. It was a team performance as a whole, when we got the result our performance deserved. Even when we were leggy as well in the second half, it was a great start under the Rangnick era.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a great result considering we didn't beat Palace in what was it 2-3 years at Old Trafford. So
3 years,
by all accounts, for us it was a good result. Obviously, look, Fox's focus also in the house says big up Keane and Rhys. Absolutely, thanks very much for tuning in. Do hit like in that video, hit that subscribe button. A lot of sports content coming on this channel in the next couple of months. So do check that out. And also Victoria's Secret's also here as well, says even and all. But Rhys, obviously, one of the main talking points from Sunday obviously was the team selection and the shape that Manchester United did pop into. Obviously, it was a 4-2-2 system. It's something that we weren't really accustomed to as Manchester United fans, usually in the last kind of 2 or 3 years. I even go back to Jose Mourinho's days, we were playing 4-2-3-1. For you, what was the kind of feeling with yourself when you seen kind of Rashford, Ronaldo as a front two, and Bruno and Jadon Sancho kind of operating as two attacking midfield players behind them, and kind of the interchange and movement? Do you think this could be the system going forward under Rangnick, or do you think maybe can he be flexible and going forward, because he has often operated in a 4-3-3? Do you maybe think we have the players to kind of suit this system, and do you maybe think it's a matter of getting these players kind of more fit to play his system? Because one thing I did notice on Sunday was we kind of petered out. Our fitness levels weren't used to pressing. You could see that after 60 minutes, though we were a bit knackered in the end. What do you think in terms of system? Is he going to persist with that 4-2-2 going forward, or do you maybe think because of some of the players we have in terms of in attacking positions, he might have to revert to a 4-3-3 to get kind of more attacking players in?
I think necessarily. I think in certain games you will see United at times use the 4-3-3, which is beneficial for us because it gives us that flexibility. Also unpredictable as well, something Ralph does. What's happening in Lingard's biggest stand. There's a level to that, and I think it does give us a sense of unpredictability in certain games. But I do think predominantly it's going to be the 4-2-2 system, or it's going to be a 4-4-2 diamond. He may use a flat 4-4-2 as well, which he has done. I think it's predominantly going to be those systems. I don't think he's going to use the back three, which he's done before. I don't expect us to play a back three. Even though the principles are the same, the principles of the play are going to be the exact same, I don't realistically see it happening. I think the best option is the 4-2-2 because it gives us more control in the midfield, especially because we're narrow, forcing teams to go wide. And when they go wide, our fullbacks are just at it for the get-go, and that's the difference. So, in all honesty, I think the 4-2-2 is the best formation to stick with. But in games where you realistically don't need it, you could easily switch it to a free and drop Bruno as a central midfielder in a central midfield position, and then you could easily play Sancho as a right winger. But I think it's going to be the 4-2-2, and I'm not going to deny that wins us the FA Cup. Just saying.
And we'll get on to kind of, I suppose, ambitions and stuff like that in terms of where we think we can go under Ralph Rangnick in terms of this 6.5 month period and the fixture list that is coming up. But welcome to Mr. Jamie McKay to the show on Devil's Advocate here this evening. Jamie, first of all, I asked Reece the same question. What was your overall feelings on Sunday when you seen us kind of line up in a 4-2-2 system, looking at United's pressing, counter-pressing? How impressed were you with United's performance under Rangnick, considering the fact that we've only had a couple of days training? Sorry, not even like a day's training before this game. What was your overall thoughts on the performance? And also just another question on top of that is the performance of Fred in this high pressing system. Do you think he thrives in this system?
First and foremost, I'll just have a little chat about Fred quickly. Nice to be on. We used to anyway, by the way. Always good to see us as always. With Fred, I think he will benefit from the system, Keane, because if you look at him when he played for Shakhtar Donetsk, he was quite an on-the-ball midfield player. And since he's come to United, he's been in a little bit more of a withdrawn role. And I feel like in this formation, he might get the freedom to play a little bit further up the field because Lindelof and Maguire were playing on the halfway line, which was a really positive sign for me. Obviously, it'd be good to hear you boys take on things as well, because obviously I haven't spoken to you previously from Rangnick coming in, but from what I've seen, it was just like chalk and cheese. I'm just absolutely buzzing with watching the team again, and the forward thinking style of play that he's trying to implement within a couple of days was just amazing. I couldn't actually believe what I was watching. I wasn't expecting such a massive turnaround in performance levels, and it was just doing basic things like playing the ball forward quicker. And I do feel like going back to Fred, he will play better in that position, in that centre of the park. And I generally do feel like he's probably got a second chance with United fans now after that performance. I know he has from me because I thought he was brilliant. I really did. And I feel like it doesn't necessarily matter who plays in that system with him. He's going to have that freedom anyway. And we all know he can break up play. But the fact of seeing him on the ball and actually looking forward instead of playing that sort of more sensible, sort of defensive-minded thinking pass, playing back or sidewards, it was more like, right, how can I get the ball into the front players quickly? And it just clicked for him, and what a goal as well. I didn't think he had that in his right foot, you know. So I was just delighted for him. Seeing him do the samba dance with Tellez was class, and I just thought, do you know what? You've had so much criticism, lad. Like and maybe justified at times, of course, but maybe he's found his system, and this 4-2-2. I just feel like it's going places. I really like how narrow the wingers come in when we're out of possession. I thought Bruno and particular, I don't think Rashford didn't do too much for me at the weekend, but I think that narrow formation when we don't have the ball, like we haven't seen anything like that for a long time. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like I was messaging in the group chat, weren't I? I was like, what am I watching here? Like, this is just a different team. But it just shows, don't it? And the exciting thing was, I was saying to my dad, like, this is 2 days, Keane. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't expecting it at all, mate. And just absolutely buzzing. And do you know what? Like, I've got the feel-good factor back again, because I think that we did lose that under Ollie. Do you know what I mean? I feel like fans were dreading watching the team. And tomorrow we're playing young boys, but it's like the Champions League final for me. I can't wait to watch it again.
And that's fair enough. And I think there's a lot of fans who I think since Rangnick comes in, and he has come in with a very big reputation in terms of attacking football. I think a lot of United fans were all excited about what he's going to bring. And for me, watching how we pressed, how we counter-pressed, how we won the ball back quickly, we were efficient with the ball. There was like every pass most of the time had meaning in terms of where it wanted to go. Now there was a couple of times McTominay had the ball and gave it away a couple of times, and it was his usual kind of sideways or backwards pass. But other than that, I think everyone else is forward thinking, and it was a good overall team performance. Now, as I said, I think for me, the only other concern I'd have right now is just the fitness levels. Because this team, if you looked at the fitness stats, like before Rangnick came in, we were one of the teams who had the lowest kilometers covered in terms of that. Like pressing this guy, it's going to take a while. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't be shocked if again we're blowing out of our arses in certain games in these next couple of weeks after 60 minutes. Don't be shocked, because this is a team who haven't pressed in a long time. And when you implement one of these systems, it does take time for players to get used to it, to high intensity. Don't be shocked if we get a couple of muscle injuries in these next couple of weeks. Because it's such a contrast in what these players have been doing in the last kind of 2.5, 3 years. So I'm going to come to Vicky's comment here. Vicky says, I noticed the players were getting into pressing positions when they didn't have the ball. Simple instructions seemed to work. Absolutely. I like McTominay and Fred, how they won the ball in the middle of the park on Sunday. I thought they done very well neutralising Kouyaté and Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield and Conor Gallagher. I think they done very well marshalling them. And I think, especially Fred, I thought he was outstanding on the weekend. And we've a comment in here from Trevor. Coming for Jamie again. He says, Evening lads, I just wondering, does he think Newcastle will stay up this season, and will he still renew his season ticket if they go down? I will not let Jamie answer that one. I've already slagged him over that the other day. Victoria Secret also says in the comments as well, Fred's offensive play was excellent. Some of his quick direct passing was very un-Fred-like. He just needs to show more consistency with these types of performances. Absolutely. Not even so much even Sunday, but he done very well against Villarreal in the Champions League. Played very well against Chelsea when he's playing kind of in a more of a box-to-box role. Like Fred, like if you look at Fred's time at Shakhtar, he was never a sitting midfield player. He was box-to-box. So he was playing in an unfamiliar position in these last couple of years. Look, and I've given him criticism for some of his performances. You can go back to his podcasts or Off United or wherever channel I've been on, I've always been critical of Fred. But in these last couple of weeks, since he's played a bit higher up the pitch, it seems to suit his game more. So look, hopefully we see the best of Fred, and hopefully in these next couple of months, let's hope he pays back that £50 million that we paid for him. Because I think, look, at the end of the day, it was a very big price tag we did pay for him at that time. So let's hope he can pick up for him. Let's continue it. And let's see where we go in these next couple of months. One sec, lads. Need to take us up of water. I've been talking all day on the phone.
I think the one thing we could probably say is because a new manager comes in, I think for the team, like I'm giving them it. I think a clean slate to an extent should be given. At least I would say between now and say like maybe February, March time. When the games start to dial down, and then we don't have to play 2-3 games every week. We can just dial down and we see how they get on in terms of working hard and training, and then delivering on a match day. And then once we get back into the 2 days a week when the Champions League comes back, like we see how that develops. So I'm giving them like to an extent a clean slate, but I'm still going to be looking to see. It's always the usual suspects in the right way, and it's not a. And I'm not scapegoating them or nothing. I'm just using them as an example where you want to see how their performances differ under Rangnick compared to under Ollie. Is there going to be a change? If not, and can they in a way prove us wrong? So there's like a slight clean slate for me. I don't know about you guys or the chat, but I'm going with it. Like, everyone's on a clean slate, but I'm going to call out shit. I'm going to call out shit if there is, but I'm going to give them at least a bit of time, and we'll see what happens.
You know the beauty of a new manager.
Comments just before we expand, I just want to come to one comment, lads, just before we go, because I know obviously there's a lot of comments coming in. I will get to everyone's comments in a moment, but I just want to come to Connor's comment. I just want to acknowledge it. So Connor said, can't stick around, but just wanted to welcome you guys over to Off United publicly too. Going to be brilliant with everyone associated with the channel on board. Also, let's smash the young boys tomorrow. Yeah, but like, look, first of all, if you missed the start of the show, Devil's Advocate is leaving the weekly Armchair Sports Talk, and it's moving over to Off United. It will be a Sunday show over at Off United, so it will be live every Sunday. So do go over there, hit that like button over there, hit the subscribe, because all of us are going over there. But this channel is staying alive. Talk League podcast will be here. The Diamonds and Buckets basketball podcast and Weekly Steel Chair podcast is also going to be here, as well as. Actually, I don't want to drop that next. There's another podcast coming, but I can't drop that news just yet because
the carnage remains. The carnage remains.
I can't drop that news yet on the other sport that's arriving onto the channel, because I've just noticed that Tim is working in the background on that one. So, but Tim will let you all know on Diamonds and Buckets when that podcast is going live as well. But yeah, look, excited for all of us to move over to Off United. It's gonna be great. A lot of great guys over there and girls over there who produce a lot of great Manchester United related content. And look, for us going over there and meeting all them guys and making one big family, it's going to be very good content and very good, honest conversations about United. So do get over there, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned, because there's a lot of stuff coming in these next couple of months and going into 2022. It's going to be a very exciting time. But Jamie, you want to make a point just with regards to Ralph Rangnick?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, mate. That's why I just stopped in my tracks. I think what just picking up what Reese was saying, really, like, I think we have to a certain extent sort of have to give everyone a clean slate now. And I think two players in particularly on Saturday probably haven't been given the opportunities that we thought they were going to be. And I feel like the formation, because it's quite a narrow formation when we don't have the ball and we are trying to press very quickly, when we get the ball back quickly, our fullbacks are going to be so important. And I thought Telles and Dalot were absolutely fantastic. And do you know, with the structure that Rangnick's going to put in play, and he is going to be very much orientated on fitness levels and people buying into what he's trying to do over the next 6 months. And I'm hoping this is going to entail into them appointing a new manager that's going to have the same morals as him as well, which I think that's probably, which is a great sign for all of us. But I feel like this formation will weed out the players that can't do it. Mm-hmm. And there's probably going to be some casualties on the way that we probably don't even realize at the moment. But I mean, we can probably name a couple that probably are not suited to his style of play. But it's the beauty of it is there's an opportunity for everyone now to get game time and be part of the new Man United, so to speak. And that's how I generally do think it is like that. It's probably a bit extreme, that, the new Man United, but I feel like we've got footballing people in now, and everybody's going to get their opportunity to showcase that, look, I should be in this team, and there's no sort of, oh, well, you've done a job for me for the past 6 months, so I'm sticking with you. There's none of that now. That's out the window. So I feel like the squad players, particularly like your Tellez's, your Diogo Dalot's, your Donny van der Beek's, players like that, Martial, they're all going to get an opportunity. And how refreshing was it to see him bring Elanga on as well?
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I had such a big smile on my face when I seen him coming on. I was just like, do you know what it is? Like, this is it, man. Like, this is what we're all about. We've got a high press on the pitch. We're playing forward. We're playing with pace. We're using the ball well. We're defending as a unit. And he's bringing on young players that haven't been trusted in the past. I thought just how refreshing. He couldn't have got it more right, could he? Really? And I know we only won the game 1-0, but the performance for me completely outshone the actual result. Because I feel like, see, if we would have even drew that game, I would have still come away from that and said, there's so many positives. And I think how refreshing is it to have that mindset that even if we wouldn't have won, we'd have thought, bloody hell, like this is different. This is looking different, and it's looking good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a clean slate for a lot of players, and you obviously seen Anthony Elanga get minutes. On Sunday was refreshing because look, to be fair, he's playing some stuff in the 23s at the moment, and it was great to see that get rewarded. This week it was great to see it, and in this high pressing system, I said to Amy the other day, I was like, don't be shocked to see Elanga get a lot more game time in this system because again, he can play as either one of them attacking midfielders or he can play up front. So like he is a player who I think would suit a Rangnicks system. Not saying he should start every week because I think there's more progressive players ahead of him. Obviously, you have the likes of Sancho and you have the likes of Joe Greenwood. You have the likes of Amad Diallo, who where does he fit into this system? There's a lot of attacking players. But again, it was very refreshing to see the performance and see work rate from the players. You mentioned the fullbacks. I was very impressed with Alex Telles and Diogo Dalot. I think they helped us stretch the game. And when we had the ball, Dallow's distribution, I think, from the back was quite good. His passing into midfield and his linking up between defence and attack was fantastic. So for me, I was happy with the performance. And look, for me, the overall result was important, but for me, the performance was even more so because it was all the players looked like they had a lift, they had a spring in their step. And look, we move on now to young boys tomorrow, and let's see who gets a game and what fringe players maybe put their step in there for Ralph Ragnick, maybe give him something to think about in the Norwich game. But I'm just going to come to Victoria's Secret's comment here. It's kind of elaborating on what I said in terms of fitness, in terms of not being used to pressing. Victoria's Secret sits nail in the head here. It says it took Liverpool a long time to become accustomed to the type of pressing that Klopp implemented. So it's going to be a gradual process to improve our style and performance levels. Absolutely, and that's why I said don't be shocked in these next couple of weeks when we're implementing this style that after 60, 70 minutes that we're blowing out of our arse because we're not used to this pressing style. Like it is going to take time for our players to really become accustomed to it. But at the same time, you have a lot of players there like Sancho, Bruno Fernandes. These types of players, I think, will accustom to it quickly. World class players will get used to it, and it's just getting that fitness and training, getting the match sharpness. That'll all be there. But going to move on to young boys tomorrow. Because obviously, look, we're top of the group now. That's been confirmed since the last Champions League match day. And for me, after that first young boys defeat, I said we're going to top this group. Reece, you'll remember a lot of people on this channel disagreed with me when I said we're still going to finish top of the group. Despite that performance, I was like, we're going to finish top of the group. Happened.
Same here. Same here. I said we'd go top way at Atlanta. I've said all the way through Atlanta are coming with us. Villarreal are going back into the Europa League.
Yeah, and that's looked like it could be the case. But now tomorrow's it's a dead rubber game. Top of the group is confirmed. Obviously, young boys can't qualify for Europe now either. Their Europa League shout is gone as well. So it's pretty much just an obligation to kind of play the game tomorrow. But for you guys, obviously there's been a lot of players recently who haven't got much game time. And to be quite honest, I'm very excited to see what Ragnick does tomorrow in terms of team selections and tactically how he approaches it, because there's players obviously like Sancho who've just come into the fold and look, he's been a revelation these last couple of weeks. But let's be honest, still very short on match sharpness. He hasn't played much games this season. Then you have others like McTominay and Fred who virtually played every game. So, like, Reece, I come to you first. in terms of rotation and players who you'd like to see get a chance to maybe showcase their attributes to Ralph Ragnick, who would you like to see tomorrow come in and maybe make a stamp?
There's a few actually. Not just the young players, but like I think Ahmad coming in be a great option. He's like wand of a left foot, but also very good press of the ball, like quick as well, pace. I'd like to see Greenwood and Nalanga as a front two. That's what I've actually gone with as a front two. I've gone Greenwood and Nalanga. But I think the one thing, the difference is, and this is why I absolutely adore about Ralph Rangnick compared to Ollie, is he got asked about who could play, but then he spun the question. He went, no, this is who's going to play. And the first two players he said was Henderson and Van de Beek. He didn't get asked if they were going to play. He said they are playing. He spun that question around. That's the difference for me. That's a manager actually saying beforehand, I'm dropping my number one goalkeeper and I'm dropping a player, and he's replacing them with two players that haven't virtually had enough time or minutes. Henderson would have been the goalkeeper if De Gea hadn't got COVID. If he hadn't had COVID, he'd be in goal. And I think this is a good chance for him to showcase. I think I don't see a lot of defensive changes. I think I only see one player dropping out. I think Maguire has already confirmed Matic is going to captain tomorrow, so I think Maguire drops out. I think Eric Bailly replaces him. And I think it's going to be the same back four, like to a degree. Dalot, Bailly, Lindelof and Telles. But for me, the ones I want to see particularly is Matic with the control, how he favours in it, because obviously he doesn't have the legs, but he's still got a very intelligent football brain. How Van de Beek operates as a 10, purely with Rangnick's style, because I don't think Fred's going to get dropped. I think Fred will stay in the team. I think McTominay will be dropped for Matic. And I think Ahmad's going to play as the other 10. So it'll be intriguing to see how they favour Ahmad with Van de Beek as a 10, like how that combination favours. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of combinations that can be thrown up there tomorrow. And especially, I think there's a couple of players who are first-team players who've missed the last couple of weeks as well. It'll be interesting to see who starts in the start tomorrow. But Jamie, obviously, Diogo Dalot has been top-notch in these last two games, obviously against Arsenal and against Crystal Palace, and been a very good attacking right back. Obviously, Armand Bissaka was out for them 2 games. He may come back into the reckoning tomorrow because obviously Rangnick will want to have a look at players who he hasn't seen, though obviously up close and personal yet. For you, how big? Obviously, look, there's not much on the line in terms of league position or qualification for the Champions League. Like that's all set in stone, and top of the group is set in stone. But how big is this game tomorrow for Armand Bissaka especially, and maybe even Luke Shaw, who's back in training, if both of them play tomorrow? How big do you think it is for the two of them? Because they've had a kind of, I suppose, an iffy start to the season, and some of their performances have dipped in and out at different stages this year. And obviously, Telles and Dalot have been kind of tearing it up in these last 2 weeks. For you, how big is tomorrow's game for Wan-Bissaka and potentially Luke Shaw? Obviously trying to impress the new manager.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Like, I totally agree with you that it's kind of like a dead rubber, but I actually think like it's a bigger game than we're actually like entailing it is. It's not result wise, but I mean for the squad. Like if I was a fringe player in that team at the moment and I watched the performance from the bench at the weekend against Palace, I'd be sitting thinking, and I like to think they are thinking because they're professional players who want to play. Like, but I'd like to think like Wan-Bissaka, like Luke Shaw, Donny van de Beek to a certain extent are looking at this team and thinking, I've got a show tomorrow that I'm available as well to come in and do a job because performance at the weekend. And if they're wanting to stake a claim, particularly like Van de Beek and Shaw and Aaron, they've been, the two fullbacks have been like predominantly starters, and now they're not in the team. And Dalot and Telles, everyone's raving about their performances and the quality they bring to the team in an attacking phase. And I'd like to think that the players that are not available at the weekend are coming back in now and thinking, I've got to like stake my claim here, because if I don't, I could be that guy that's not getting the game now. And I feel like with Rangnick, his squads are going to be balanced no matter whether we like certain players in certain teams anyway. So I feel like opportunities like this are going to be really important for the likes of Donny van de Beek, because I think he's seen enough at the weekend of Scott and Fred to say, like, right, I know what I'm getting from them, so what can you show me? And I feel like it is a game there's probably more pressure on the more senior players in the squad, like Van de Beek, Bissaka, Shaw, not necessarily with Alanga, maybe not even Bailey to a certain extent. I think Bailey's probably fourth choice anyway when Varane comes back in. I thought Lindelof was phenomenal at the weekend. It's probably the best game I've seen him play. Yeah, he was. And the thing is, he's allowed to play his game. Like, Lindelof is a progressive passing centre-back, and he was in advanced areas to be able to influence the game at what he's good at. He was a ball-playing centre-back at Benfica, you know? Like, and it's nice to see that players can actually adapt into that system, and they're allowed to play their own individual games now instead of having to be maybe a little bit more negative. But totally understand it's a dead rubber result-wise, but like there's shirts up for grabs in this team, and with that blank slate that we've spoken about, anybody is one game away from against Norwich, and I feel like if you've got a carrot dangled in front of you, you've got to grab it if you've not been playing a lot of games recently. So I think it's a more important fixture than we actually think, because it's all brand new and fresh, and everybody wants to prove themselves. So I'm quite excited about it tomorrow, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. It's not a game you traditionally be looking forward to against young boys, but you think, oh, it's a dead rubber, we'll win that game. But there's a little bit more to it now, and it's like, right, okay, then. So what have you got to offer? Because we've seen what the other lads have got to offer at the weekend. So let's go, and I'm expecting big performances from the fringe players.
Yeah, absolutely, and look, it's something that I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see Alanga and Greenwood in this pressing system as a two. I'll get to my starting 11 prediction in a few moments, but I think for me, definitely, them two, I'm most excited to see. But Reece, I'm going to come to you. I'm actually kind of sick and Amy isn't on the show for this, because obviously tomorrow potentially is the final Old Trafford appearance for Juan Mata in terms of a start in a Champions League game. Because let's be honest, when we get to the knockout round, I don't think Juan Mata will start, not unless we have an injury crisis in the attacking positions. For you, how important is this game for you? Obviously, Juan Mata has been a very good servant for Manchester United, and kind of in this time since 2014 that he's been there. How excited you maybe see Juan in this system as one of them two attacking midfielders potentially?
She's already greeting in the live chat. I don't think you're going to see him start, but I think maybe off the bench. To be fair, even for like 20, 30 minutes, I actually think that would actually be decent for him. Like, because I do agree, I don't expect to see him in the Champions League knockout stages at all. Maybe he might play against Villa in the FA Cup, I don't know, but it's going to be so limited unless we get serious injuries and we have no other option. All due respect to Juan Mata, I don't see him doing it, but if he does get on the field, great. I think in a system like this where it's tight and narrow, his football intelligence, like, all due respect to anybody at the club, I think Juan Mata is still the most intelligent player we've got. I think he's by far the most intelligent, creative player. And I think if we use him in a narrow system like this, where they've got players running around him, it might benefit in the long run, but I don't see him getting a lot of opportunities, no. But if he plays tomorrow, I hope he gets a good performance, maybe like an assist or a goal. It'd be great for him. But I do agree with you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like for me, obviously, it's looking like he's potentially linked with a move away in January. So if this is one of his last games, I'd be happy to see him get a game, contribute. I'd like maybe see him bail out with a goal, because he is linked to a January move away. And look, let's be fair, we do have a lot of young attacking players in the academy who can probably take his place with likes of Hannibal and Shortiri, who are probably chomping at the bit to get into that United first team squad. So look, it'd be great to see him get a game tomorrow. I'd like to see him in that right attacking midfield position tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I think in that little pocket where maybe Wan-Bissaka or Dalot do bombing past them to create that space. I think Juan Mata could be very intelligent though in this team. But Jamie, for you, like, Juan Mata is obviously a player who you obviously love Joe yourself. You've spoke highly about him, and not only as a Manchester United player, but obviously his Chelsea career as well. For you, would it be good for you? I know we're all against sentimentality and all that crack. Joke, we're not sentimental people, but for you, because it's a dead rubber game, there is obviously the youngsters of Greenwood, Alanga, and stuff like that. Would it be great to see one Matt out there with that bit of experience and a bit of intelligence to maybe help guide these youngsters in this system tomorrow?
Yeah, it's been a shame really that we haven't seen more of him, because like Reece just said there, his technical ability from a football standpoint is absolutely fantastic, and I know Amy loves him as well. So it'd be nice for her to be able to watch him. But I do feel like he's probably one of them players that is going to probably be looking at the bigger picture now. And to be honest with you, I kind of hope he is as well. I kind of do hope he leaves in January, because he deserves to be playing football, you know, like, and he's not got a lot of years left in the tank now. And I hope he goes back to Spain, to maybe a middle of the table team, and he gets games and he can go and play his football and sail off into the sunset, because he's had a fantastic career. What a player for Chelsea, what a player for Valencia, you know, like, and he's come to Man United. He's done fantastic. He scored. I mean, Anfield, what a performance that was. We'll never forget that. Wanfield, and he's done everything. He's give us back what we paid for him, innit? Do you know what I mean? And then more so, and the pure class of the man, like with the fan base, like you see so many things that he does with the fans and stuff like that, and it's amazing. And what a lovely human being as well, and a fantastic footballer. I do think he's probably one of the players that Rangnick probably will say, look, this is the thing that I think we've got now with Rangnick. He's got that professionalism to say to somebody, look, you're not going to fit in here. And I generally do think he's brave enough to do that. And I'm hoping he's going to sort of have that mindset with certain players, because there is very good football players in this squad that just don't get a game. Like Phil Jones, for example. I hope he leaves as well, because he deserves to play football as well. You know, I'm joking.
Yeah.
You both look so serious. But yeah, no, I do hope he plays tomorrow, and I do think if he's in, will come on, because we'll see young boys off. I'm expecting us to be 2 or 3 up after 60, 65 minutes. So it would be lovely to see him, and I know you'd have a very happy girlfriend if he did come on. So.
Yeah, I will say as well,
absolutely.
it comes back to Mata. There's only one problem with one Mata, and it's funnily enough, it's Van Gaal's fault. It's like as much as I admire and respect Van Gaal, it's his fault. Playing him as an inverted winger, which is something he should never have done in the first place.
In a 4-2-3-1, that shouldn't have been done at the time, and I think that's
exactly
where he wasn't utilised. But he had think about it though. He had Di Maria at the time. He had Di Maria and he had Januzaj at the time, who all wanted to play number 10. I think that's what was the problem. He never, got to cement that number 10 position long term, because Wayne Rooney was also at the club as well. When all them left, he was kind of in his latter years. Then Bruno comes in, and he never got to cement that. But look, that's not me dissing Bruno, because he's my spirit animal, and I absolutely love that man. But
I remember, do you remember him at Valencia when he used to play up front with David Villa and David Silva in a free? For Valencia, and then he went to Chelsea, and I was like, "What a signing that is!" And then he done quality at Chelsea, yeah. And then I remember the day that he actually signed for us, and I was just like, I can't believe we've got Mata. Like, what a signing!
Remember one Mata jumped off the helicopter, and he was walking to meet Ed Woodward that time. It was absolutely crazy. And
swaggy bastard.
Boys days, man, bloody hell.
There's only one club I want to see him go to. Sociedad.
Yeah, with David Silva. I think that's probably going to be in the works. But
I want to go to Sociedad.
Moving on to the game itself, and we'll get starting 11 predictions from you both now, in terms of who do we want to see in the 11, any maybe youth players you want to see maybe get a run in the squad, because there's a lot of talk on the Twitter timeline now at the moment that we could see a few youth in the squad tomorrow, and not just starting 11 but in the squad. So I'm going to get starting 11 predictions from you both, and I give mine as well, and then we get some score predictions, and then I'm going to ask you both a question at the end. I haven't let you know what the question is, but I will ask you both at the end of the show. First of all, Jamie, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to throw this curveball at you at this stage. Give me your starting 11 for tomorrow's game.
Well, I'll base it off of a 4-2-2-2 because I feel like that's the route he's going to go with. But with Rangnick, it wouldn't surprise me he played a different formation as well. I think he's more than competent to do that. But and I think we're going to learn that very quickly watching his teams, that he'll change systems very quickly if he needs to. But we'll go with that anyway because I think that's what he'll start with. I think he's going to go. I do think Basaka will come into the squad. I think he'll start at right back. Henderson's obviously going to be in goals because he said it. I think he'll go Basaka, Lindelof, Bailey, and I think Tellez will keep his spot. I think he deserves to keep his spot as well. I think his wide deliveries for them two strikers are really important, particularly if Ronaldo plays. I don't think he will tomorrow, but going forward, the two midfielders. I mean, he's obviously said Donny will be playing as well. So Van de Beek and Matic. Matic obviously being captain tomorrow, so that's kind of a banker, I think. On the right, I think he might go with. I'd like to see him go with Ahmad because I want to see what he's got to offer. And from what I have seen of him, he looks like a really intelligent little footballer. And if he's going to bring Elanga in, I feel like he should also give Ahmad a chance because they're very talented players, you know. And I think that he will, to be honest with you. Or Juan Mata. That's maybe the spot that he might start, but I'll stick with Ahmad. On the left, I think he might go with Rashford because I'm not either Elanga or Rashford because I feel like Rashford struggled at the weekend. I don't think he settled a lot, and I think Ralph might look at it and think this is probably the perfect game to build back his confidence a little bit and get him used to my style of play. So either Elanga or Rashford on the left, and then Greenwood and whoever isn't on the left up front with him. So maybe Rashford and Greenwood up front or Elanga and Greenwood, but I feel like he probably will go with a little bit more youth tomorrow. Hence why I went with Ahmad. But it'll be interesting to get your take. But that's the team I think he might go with.
Yeah, and look, it's a very attacking team and something different to what we've seen in these kind of last couple of weeks and once under Solskjaer and Michael Carrick for that matter. So it'll be interesting to see. Reese, do you have anything different to what Jamie has?
Henderson, Dallo, Lindelof, Bailly, Tellez, Matic, Fred, Ahmad, Van de Beek, Greenwood, Elanga.
Ooh, very quick.
You know what? I was actually
precise.
thinking about Van de Beek from the right. You know where he had Bruno at the weekend? I was thinking that as well. You might be spot on with that, you know.
Yeah, and it's something I was thinking about earlier myself in terms of this. But for me, I'm going to go, obviously, Henderson in goal. Wan-Bissaka right back. I think he needs to show, Rangnick what he can do. I'm going to go by Lindelof at the back. If fit, like see Luke Shaw play because obviously he hasn't played in a while. And again, this is a game where I think he needs to show Rangnick what he can do. I do believe Tellez does deserve to start the Premier League game. So for me, a bit of rotation and obviously show what the new manager what he can do. For me, I go Luke Shaw at left back. I'm going to go Donny and Matic, two central midfield players. I'm going to go Mata on the right as the right attacking midfield player. And no, I'm not getting a gun to my head telling me that I need to pick him here. That's just me picking him in this system. I'm also going to go on that left attacking midfield role. I am going to go Jadon Sancho on the left attacking midfield role, and then going to go with Greenwood and Elanga as the two strikers in that system. I think you have a lot of experience in terms of Donny, Matic, and Mata, very intelligent players, and also obviously Sancho and Elanga and Greenwood, who could be the flair players, gives all something different, a lot of intelligence, and I think we would pull off the result. And I've seen a bit of talk on Twitter that we may see the likes of Shore Thierry and Hannibal, players like that, potentially maybe making the bench. They're saying there's a youth players coming into the team tomorrow. I don't know how true that could be because the UEFA Youth League obviously being on tomorrow as well. So I don't know what youth he's going to call up for this
Hannibal,
game.
I don't know. Hannibal, I don't know because he's not long back from Tunisia as well, I think.
Yeah.
So I'd be
People are
surprised
saying
if
that
he's
the
included.
youth maybe coming into the squad tomorrow, but I don't know how true that can be because the UEFA Youth League is obviously the same day.
Yeah.
United will be playing tomorrow afternoon in the Youth League, so don't know what players maybe get called up. But look, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But on that note, guys, just before we wrap up, I'm just going to get. I'm not going to get score predictions yet. I'm going to leave that to the end. Just get a quick score prediction of both of them. But one question I just want to ask of both of you, and it's not related to Manchester United at the moment. It's related to Devil's Advocate because obviously we're moving over to All United in these next couple of weeks, and it's going to be a great journey, and we're going to produce a lot of great content over there in terms of Devil's Advocate, and the lads over there are going to contribute to that massively as well. But from you both, obviously I've had you both on. We've done interviews with journalists. We've done all these different types of shows over here, ex-players, all that type of stuff. But for both of you, what was your favourite moment of Devil's Advocate on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk? I'm going to come to you first, Reece. I'm going to put you on the spot. What would be your favourite moment of all the shows we've done here in the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk on Devil's Advocate? What would be your favourite moment? Your favourite particular show?
So I've been on Devil's Advocate. I would say 11 months. 11 months now.
Yeah.
Just randomly showed up in a live chat by pure accident. I'd never watched the channel before. Randomly popped in. I was on the channel 2 days later. My favourite moment, I don't think anybody can disagree because I literally set this up brilliantly. My favourite moment has to be the transfer day deadline show when all I did was pull out a pack of Vimtos as Vimto bonbons as the good man Phil Brown played off William Chilly Billy Willie so easily by saying he doesn't want Antonio Conte as Arsenal manager. All you see is me literally just going, and I will now grab my bonbons. It's hands down. It's still my favourite moment. It's probably one of the most clipped moments of this channel, and it was sheer off the cuff, intelligent moment. You couldn't. That wasn't like part of the flow. That part of the show. That was literally just right there and then. It was. And now I seem to be most shows. I keep getting asked what sweets am I bringing on next because it seems to be a recurring thing. Because it sets up perfectly. So that's probably my favourite moment. And I'll be honest, I've got a worst moment as well. My worst moment was probably the first time I hosted, because just the nerves were before we even went live. And Keane will back me up on this one because he was sitting in the background. Is I literally did a full intro. Played the intro music, and then Keane actually put in the private chat, you forgot to hit live. So I literally done everything without even knowing. So that was purely because that's the first time I've ever hosted a YouTube show. So the nerves were there. So I'm not going to shy from that. So best moment, 100% bonbons. Worst moment, pre-match nerves.
Forgetting to go live.
Yeah.
Jamie, for you, obviously we met. Funnily enough, we actually met through All United. We're both our paths are going to cross again. In these next couple of weeks with Devil's Advocate moving over there. What would be your favourite moment on Devil's Advocate? We've obviously had a lot of good one-to-one shows. We've had Phil, Adam, all the lads on in our shows. What would be your favourite show in particular?
I used to love the one-to-ones with you. I think we used to get proper stuck in. Sometimes they were like 2-hour shows, and I can't even remember what we were talking about, but it was just, I remember it was just full-on United chat. But yeah, it's weird, really. It's how it's come full circle, isn't it? Like how we met on All for United, and I've predominantly been on this show. Obviously, I had quite a bit of a breakout from when I first come on the scene. I was like on quite a lot of shows, and then I took a little bit of a step back for a little while. Just I had different things going on, stuff like that. And I think my favourite moment probably was. There's been a couple of funny things as well that I can think of, but my favourite one was probably when you give me the big build up on my return on Devil's Advocate, and it was like give me the big, and then I just remember Shane going, he was like, that was brilliant, Keane. It was like John Cena coming out to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he's like, you're just like John Cena coming out with number 30 in the Royal Rumble. I remember that.
Sorry, Shane, if you're watching, that was not your voice.
I remember Shane was literally on the bottom right-hand corner of the four-person panel, and it's like, oh my God, it's John Cena. Yeah, and Victoria's Secret says here, I think one of my favorite interviews I've done on Devil's Advocate definitely here is my one with Leo McCarry on the day of the Europa League semi-final. That was a fantastic interview to get his insight and his time at Man United, and obviously current Manchester United as well. At the time, it was a great one, and I think one of my personal favorites. I think for me, I've done many interviews and done many great kind of panel debates on Devil's Advocate, but I think my favorite one probably would have been my first ever interview. It wasn't even on YouTube at the time. It was on Twitter when I interviewed Luke Chadwick about Manchester United. It was my first ex-player that I interviewed, and I was a bag of nerves, and the stream cut off twice during the interview. But the third time lucky, when we got the full interview done, it was absolutely fantastic. And Luke's sound lad, very warm and very, very nice man. And that was one of my favorite interviews. I think my favorite moment on the show, probably, if you're looking at panel wise, I think is when Bruno scored that free kick against Liverpool, and I took the liberty of playing the video of Bruno's goal on the thing and the O&O music and showing a picture of Jurgen Klopp. I think that was quite good. But yeah, look, it's been a lot. It's been a great journey, and I think
I think it's mad how like we've all become mates. Like, although I haven't even met Reese. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I've only met you briefly as well, Keane. But like, do you know what I was thinking about today, Keane? Do you remember when I done that Santa impression to William in the group chat?
Yeah,
it's just like I'm gonna have to do something this year. I've had so many funny memories, like not even on shows with all you guys, and it's like I haven't even met half of you, which is
there's
crazy.
One other one.
Remember as well when I first. Do you remember when we done a show with Adam for the first time, and then you asked me if I wanted to come on with Phil Brown, and like everybody knows Phil Brown's like an amazing sort of like he does amazing work on his channel, and such a lovely guy as well. And we done a really good show with him, didn't we, Reese, a couple of weeks ago? What
yeah, that was one of my favorite shows. Yeah, that was fantastic.
I used to watch Phil like religiously, like when I was. It's quite well documented between you guys, but the chat people might not know if people don't know me. But I had quite bad depression when my grandmother died. A couple of years, my life dipped a little bit, and I used to watch United podcasts all the time because I struggled to leave the house because I was very anxious. Keane knows about this, but anyway, I'm going a bit deep here, but I'll keep it short. So I used to watch United podcasts all day, and it gave me a little bit of structure because I struggled to leave the house. Thankfully, I'm okay now. It's not something I deal with, but I really looked up to Phil, and I just loved listening to his chatters on United, and it gave me a structure for my week, and I knew which shows I was going to watch, and it kind of got me through some days, these podcasts. So it was a bit surreal for me when Keane asked me to go on a podcast with Phil, because I'd watched his work and he kind of helped me and he never even realized this. I've actually had the pleasure of actually telling him that he actually contributed to helping with my mental health, which he was very humbled by, which was a lovely thing for me, because it's you never know who you're helping. Even chat and just us talking might be helping them, and I think that's the beautiful thing about this. And I've obviously mentioned mental health a few times on here, Keane, and it's lovely that you actually allow me to do that as well, because it is a massive thing for me. I'm really big on trying to be there for people and all supporting each other. We're not just Man United fans; we're good human beings. You know,
absolutely.
And anyone on this channel, if you ever need any advice, they've all had my back, so they'll all have everyone else's back, and all the lads are all for United as well, are absolute diamonds. So we're all going to make one big massive family. But just a massive thank you, Keane, because as I say, these fan channels they helped me for a few years get my life back on track, and it sounds crazy, but they really did, you know. And the fact that I get the opportunity to come on here now and do this, it's a bit surreal for me when I'm speaking to like Lee Lawrence, what a great show that was. Do you know what I mean? And I've met some people, and I go to United games, get offered tickets regularly now, which is just. And I still say, I've obviously said to you off camera, Keane, but I feel like as this is the last one, just a massive thank you to you, mate, because I've met a good friend, but you everyone accustomed with this channel is just really down to earth, good people, and it's a pleasure to come on here. I know I don't come on as regularly as Reece and that, but hopefully I will. I'm planning on getting involved with the Old United boys again, and let's get it going and build something special. But yeah, just a massive thank you, Keane, mate. Really, really do appreciate it.
And look, I massively appreciate all of you coming on, and I think, look, this platform we built over just short of a year and a half it's unbelievable. Like I started this as a laugh during lockdown when we had that first lockdown March 2020. So it's been great, and look, we're moving now to a very good platform in Off United. A lot of great lads there. Myself, Ben, and Mark, we run that channel, and we're the amount of plans we have in these next couple of weeks and months. It's going to be amazing. If you're a Man United fan, this is going to be a great journey. And look, I'm glad that Devil's Advocate got. Obviously, I'm grateful to Ben that he's going to give us this opportunity to show Devil's Advocate on a much bigger scale on Off United, and it's going to be great to have us guys and the guys who are currently on that channel to make that podcast even bigger and even better. And Andrew Digman says, the delicious smell of cut onions. No, I'm not going to cry live on my own podcast. That's not going to happen.
I'll say this because I think the viewers need to hear this one as well. As obviously, spoken about mental health support. Obviously, I got support because I lost a relative recently, and that's helped me a lot because I've had full backing. But here's something that the viewers don't know, and this is something that me and Keane spoke in the background. I turned them down, right? But I don't think Keane will mind me mentioning this, but a month ago, was it Keane? Maybe a month ago? About a month ago, Keane actually offered to walk away from the channel. He was actually looking to do other things, and he was actually looking away. And he actually offered me full control of this channel, and I turned him down. I said no, because what we're going to do is we're just going to do things differently. We're going to revamp the channel, and it's going to blast. And look at where we've actually gone now. We're now merging with one of the best YouTube channels for pure United content. We're still got our United content, and we're still one of the best. We're the best sports podcast, and we're merging in a different manner. So it just shows how good we are as a collaboration, where we didn't necessarily feel like it's going to dilute our audience. Our audience is the same. We want to make it better and better for our audience, and the fact that we can compromise in a way that we can actually make the channel better is why this channel will not die down. Other crappy channels will disappear. We won't.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where there's going to be a lot of focus now in these next couple of months, guys, in terms of the sports content that's going to be produced here. Obviously, the wrestling podcast is going from strength to strength. Flames and Buckets. We have very interesting interviews coming up there. With very influential people in basketball. The Talk League podcast, Matt's joining the team, was in the comments there. He has a lot of interest in Premier League podcast that will be coming up there. So football is staying on this channel. It's just our Man United content is going over to All United, because I do believe while it's good now, it's going to be 20 times better over there, because there's a lot of great contents. There are a lot of great contributors over there who do great content over there. And the fact that when Ben presented me this thing about bringing Devil's Advocate over, I didn't hesitate. Like I said to Amy, I said to Reece, we're doing it. We're going for it straight away, because it's a massive opportunity. And, there are a lot of great people there who I've been there in the last 12 months working away there. I've been on shows, and it's going to be
people we trust.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And the plans we have, as I said, in these next couple of months going forward are massive. And all I say is watch this space. But oh Jesus Christ, AC Milan got 1-0 up against Liverpool, and Tomori scored. Sean Maroney is going to love that one. But just before we wrap up, guys, can I just get score predictions for tomorrow's game against Young Boys in the Champions League?
I'll let you go first, Jamie.
Let me go first. Okay. I think we'll win comfortably tomorrow. 3-4-0. I'll go with 3-0. I think it'll take us a little bit of time to settle because the younger players, but I feel like we'll just completely outplay them. And if we have the same intensity that we had against Crystal Palace, they won't be able to live with us. So I'd say 3-0. I'll go
3-0. Jamie's very confident United are gonna go out and smash out a good result tomorrow. Reese, are you similarly confident?
I'm going 4-0. Ahmad to score.
4-0. Diallo score. That'll be Shane Dowdy's absolute dream tomorrow. Matt Smith says Young Boys to win 2-0 tomorrow. Matt, I heavily disagree with that one. But I'm going to go United to win 2-1. I think because of the changes, it could maybe take us a while to find our rhythm. I do think Young Boys will probably get a goal, probably from a set piece tomorrow or something like that in and around the lines of that. But I do think we do have enough attacking quality to win the game. And I think Mason Greenwood will get off the score sheet tomorrow. And also I'll go Anthony Elanga also to get on the score sheet tomorrow, assisted by Juan Mata. So anyone who has a bet tomorrow, Anthony Elanga to score and the Juan Mata anytime assist, get on it on Paddy Power. And also Victoria's Secret says 3-1 win for us, Elanga to score a couple. I love it. It'd be great to see another academy player blossom at Old Trafford and show why.
Can we just leave the Mackay out stuff now then that we're leaving this platform? Can we leave
No,
that
no,
here?
No. Not a hope.
That can't come over. I'm gonna have to speak with Ben because I'm gonna have to drop out of all these chats and all that if this is gonna carry on because it's affecting my confidence levels. I'm going from a back 3 to a back 4 now because of you.
Yeah, well, look, you're showing you're more tactically flexible, and we're just on that. We're just going to end the show there. Hashtag Mackay. But thanks very much, Perry, for watching the final edition of Devil's Advocate on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit the bell notification beside it. You will get all the notifications for more sports content on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk. This might be our last United show, but it most definitely isn't the last show.
I believe you've done that, by the way,
on this channel. But until then, guys, thanks very much for watching. Go over to Off United. Check us out over there on Devil's Advocate next Sunday. And until then, guys, thanks very much, everyone, for watching. Thanks to Reese and Jamie and all the rest of the lads who've contributed to Devil's Advocate on the Armchair Sports Talk. We'll be back on Off United with more new faces as well. But until then, thanks very much, everyone, and we'll be back soon.